Hey there, I hope you had a great couple weeks. I was on vacation. We talk about 5 tips to helping you grow your business right now. And as I see, I've got a little bit of toothpaste on here. I hope you're doing great. Let's just change this. Do you have a business? Do you want to learn how to grow it during these crazy times? I've been on vacation for the last 2.5 weeks, so maybe you've seen some of the other sessions I've done that my team posted. Here's a question for you. Is your business growing or is it retracting right now? I've got 5 tips that I think will help you a ton right now. Thrive instead of survive. There's a lot of businesses that are suffering right now. I just read yesterday in the paper that a third of all restaurants, for example, in the United States are going to be out of business by the end of the year. That is crazy, plus the hundreds of thousands of people that work there. That is sad. There's so many industries that are hurting. Other industries are doing well in these crazy times. Question for you. Do you have a business? Give me a like or a love if you have a business, and I'll say hello to a few of you right now. Hi there, Cheryl. Always nice to see you. Beatty Bunt. Your business is growing. Awesome. What do you do? I've had, let me see. My first business was Remax. My second business was bamboo.com. My third business was One Coach. My third business was Life Success Foundation. Fourth business was One Coach. Fifth business is NeuroGym. All multi-million-dollar companies. What kind of business do you have? I'm curious to know, what kind of business do you have? Hi there, Jose. You're in architecture? Architect? Great. So what do you think is happening in the world right now? What do you think is going on? Are people buying? Are people not buying? Are some people buying or not, other people not buying? Meal prep business, network marketing, bottled water, catering. Hi, Leo. Personal development startup, private investigation firm. Seth, awesome. So one's growing, one's surviving. All right, so Deborah, I don't have a chance to review all the texts and emails I get. I'm very sorry, unless you're in one of my programs in our private communities. So wedding photographer, Sridhar, network marketing, hello, makeup artist. So hey there, Marco, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Personal training and wellness, coaching in-home. So a lot of really good businesses. Sorry you don't know how to start your own business. I would Google it. So let me share with you a couple things. When I was 19 years old, 40 years ago, believe it or not, and Gabe, I really don't appreciate you promoting your business there, so I'm going to delete it. When I was 19 years old, I got into business in sales on commission only. And when I was struggling for money and struggling to make ends meet, we used to laugh that there was always too much month left at the end of the money. And when I was 19 years old, the first thing that I was taught that could help you right now from my first mentor and coach about business, right? I was trying to get leads. I was trying to make sales. I was trying to make money so I could, pay for food and some shelter. And my mentor, Mr. Alan Brown, he said one thing to me that I fully understand today, and I'll unpack it for you, and I'll give you 5 tips today to helping you, hopefully thrive right now. He said, John, he says, the first thing you have to do, if you want to make money, and this is tip number 1, he said, you have to target the right people who are ready to buy right now. And I didn't understand what he meant as much, but I want you to think about this for just a moment. He said, you have to target the people who want to buy right now, your product, your service, your knowledge, or your skill. And when I asked Mr. Brown, well, how do I find the people who want to buy right now? He said, well, first you have to do some research to identify who are the right people who want to buy right now. And he had me create a list of a variety of different people that actually would want to buy right now. So let me give you an example. Again, I was 19 years old. I was selling real estate, and I was trying to list homes and sell homes, which I knew nothing about. And he said, for example, are people that are trying to move to Toronto right now looking to buy a home? He said, yes. Oh, I said, yes. He says, great. Those are people who want to buy a home right now. He said, number two, are people that are trying to sell their home privately right now trying to sell their home? He says, yes. He says, those are two groups of people that want to buy or sell a home right now. And I want to give you context for this. In 1980, in June of 1980, when I got into real estate, okay, the interest rates were between 18 to 21% for a mortgage. He said, even in a time of depression, even in the worst of times, people have to buy and have to sell. So my first question for you is, do you have a target of who has to buy or sell, whatever it is, if you're in sales and like real estate, but do you have a targeted list, okay, of who must buy, wants to buy, needs to buy what you have right now? Okay? All right. Do you have a list of what we call as a perfect client profile? And some people do and some people don't. But instead of trying to sell to everybody, everything, why not step back, stop, especially in these crazy times, and ask yourself, who must buy my product or service? And so that's part one. Does that help just a little bit? And Gina, awesome. How many of you have, do you have a really good framework of what we call as an avatar or an ideal client profile? If this is specifically right now, not last week or two weeks from now or 6 months from now, right now, who must buy, who wants to buy, who needs to buy my product or service? And so living healthy with Liliana, yeah, a targeted audience. So if you do, give me a like or a love, or let me know you do, right? Right, so, and here's what I want you to all to be careful about, and I'm already seeing some comments, is your stories and your excuses. If you have a story or an excuse in your head, guess what? That's going to prevent you from making money in business right now. So you can either have stories or excuses, or you can have solutions. Which one do you want? Stories and excuses or solutions? If you have to make money, you have to be doing money-making activities, but it starts with knowing the right target. Number 2 point that was critical. Do you have a very, very targeted, specific message so that you clear through the clutter of all the noise out there? Let me explain, okay? Right now, how many people are vying for your attention on Facebook, on Instagram, on Pinterest, on Twitter, on YouTube, on every social media channel? How many people, okay, are trying to get you to disrupt you through their ads, whether it's email, whether it's texting, whether it's events, whether it's in your news feed, whether it's anything? How many of you are feeling inundated with even more messages today than ever before? Is it just me? Is it just me? So many, right? 10, 20, 50, 100, 500. Now, what happens, since you all know that I'm big into the neuroscience and neuromarketing and neurosales, when our brain is bombarded with all of these different messages, the way that information gets into our brain obviously comes through our eyes, through our ears, what we read, etc. But what happens is the way that our brain processes information is this. All incoming information, except for the information that's coming in through your nose, goes to a place called the thalamus in your brain, and then it sends it for processing to the respective part of your brain that's required. When we get this overindulgence of messages, What we need to understand is if you don't have a message that activates the reptilian or instinctual part of the brain that then sends a message to the emotional and logical part of the brain in that order, you're going to sound like just a lot of noise and people are going to shut you out. So you have to take some time to be able to craft a very specific, what we call as a hook and a message to clear through the clutter from all the other messages. Let me give you an example. Does this help you a little bit? Imagine you're driving down a country road, okay? And you see a group of cows, okay? There's a whole bunch of cows, 500 cows, all right? Can you visualize that? Okay, visualize 500 cows. There's a herd of cows, okay? If you can visualize it, tell me, John, I can visualize it, I can see it. Now, I want you to think about this, and this is from Seth Godin's great book many years ago. Imagine that somewhere in that first line of cows, there's a purple cow, a purple one, a purple cow with white spots on it. What would you do if you saw this 500 cows, but one of them was purple, okay, and is like, oh my God, what would you do? What would you do? Would you stop and would you look and go, holy shit, there's a purple cow. Hey, look at that, there's a purple cow. Well, let me ask you a question. When you talk to people, when you slam on your brakes, when you have ads or your marketing, do people go, wow, holy shit, that's a purple cow, that's unique, that's different. I need to pay attention to that ad or what you're saying or how you're saying it or your brochure or your website or your landing page? Do people stop, okay, and look at your thing instead of everybody else's, right? So here's point number 2. If your message doesn't stand out like a purple cow, guess what? You're going to look like everybody else, and you're going to just be hope, prayer that somebody finds you. And the second thing that I learned, that's your tip number 2. Tip number 1 was you got to target the right people. You've got to get the right message in front of them so they pay attention to you. The second thing I learned that if you don't have the right message, it doesn't make a difference because you look like all the other cows. And I hope you understand the analogy. Does that help you? So what I want you to do is take some time to think about how do I create messages, whether it's verbal, me talking to you, so that I look like, feel like something different so people will pay attention to you. Because if they're not paying attention to you, then your marketing doesn't work, your selling doesn't work. You sound like everybody else, you look like everybody else, right? So that's part number 2. And so part of neuromarketing is neurosales, is knowing how to activate, how to trigger the part of their brain that's going to pay attention to you instead of everybody else. So that's number 2. So can somebody type in what number 1 and number 2 was? Number 1, if you can type in, first, you've got to identify and target the right people. Number 2, okay, is you've got to nail the message. And here's a question that I have for each one of you. How many of you love to buy, but you hate to be sold? Do you love to buy stuff, but you hate to be sold? Like, I love to buy stuff, but I hate to be sold, right? I want somebody to give me value. I want somebody to build trust and rapport. I want somebody to help me, all right? And so I want you to think about your message. You know, instead of trying to sell something, help somebody, okay? That's like a bonus tip that I'm going to give you. But if people feel like you are trying to sell them, then they're not going to buy from you. But if they feel you have the knowledge, the product, the service, the skill that can help them, then that's great. Thank you, Edgar, for writing that out. So identify the right people, nail the message. Number 3, okay, is really, really critical. And this comes from, you know, me building RE/MAX of Indiana. Many of you know when I was 26, after I was in real estate for, 6 years, 7 years, I bought RE/MAX of Indiana. And I proceeded over 10 years to build a company with 85 real estate offices, 1,200 salespeople. I think there were about 700 staff in those offices. And we were selling $4.5 billion a year in sales. $4.5 billion a year in sales, helping over 20,000 people a year buy and sell homes. So I learned a little bit about spending millions of dollars on marketing and selling and then building some other companies. But one of the things that we did is first I was in real estate as an agent, but then I became the owner of a region. And if you think about franchising, what does franchising do really, really well? Why do people buy a franchise and spend $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 or $500,000 or even $1 million? Why would anybody buy and give somebody all that money? Like, why would they do that? Can you give me some answers? And by the way, my message today, be kind. Be kind is the message today, right? So why would somebody spend money on a franchise? And the answer is because franchises have end-to-end processes. They have a process for hiring. They have a process for managing. They have a process for marketing. They have a process for selling. They have a process for training. They have a process, an end-to-end process that's been figured out already by hundreds of thousands or millions of other people, and they've tweaked it and finessed it until they have an end-to-end process for everything. And so instead of trying to figure out, what to do, how to do it, what's the right way, what's the wrong way, instead of trying by trial and error to make mistakes to figure out what works, is the collective intelligence of everybody in the franchise system, builds the system and then reinforces the system. So the third point, and somebody can type this out right, is you have to create an end-to-end process. I call it a sales process for business, a marketing and sales process that focuses on 4 things. Ready? Number 1, you have to have a lead or prospect generation system or process. Number 2, you have to have a lead qualification or a way to qualify those prospects. Number 3, you have to have a way to convert, to make an offer to those prospects so they buy from you instead of your competition. And then number 4, you have to have what we call a lead nurturing process for those who don't buy. So end-to-end sales and marketing process, lead generation, lead qualification, lead conversion, and lead nurturing. Now, somebody write this down. The money is in the nurturing. Let me repeat. The money is in the nurturing. But do you know what most business owners do? They generate leads. If they don't buy right now, they let them go. So you have to have that whole end-to-end process in place. So that's number 3, okay? So number 1, we have target the right people. Number 2, we have nail the message. Number 3, create an end-to-end process, okay? Lead generation, lead qualification, lead conversion, and lead nurturing. Okay, does that make sense so far? For all of my friends on Facebook, let me know if that makes sense. You say, John, this makes sense. All my friends on Instagram, I'm live on 2 sessions here right now. So that's an end-to-end process. Okay, number 4, all right, is this. Okay. Times are crazy right now. Times are crazy. Some buyers are spending money like crazy, but a lot of people are holding back, from buying. So what you have to do is this. You have to create compelling, irresistible offers. Let me repeat. You have to create compelling, irresistible offers right now so that people buy from you instead of the competition. Now, if you know anything about business, you know that yes, you make money on the first sale, but if you're a smart business person, you don't just try to sell somebody something once to help them. You want them as buyers over a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So if you make them an irresistible offer to get started with you today, and don't worry about all the profits you're going to make right now, you make them an irresistible offer to start with you today, and then you help them along the way with your product, your services, your knowledge, your skills. They not only become buyers and clients for life, but they also refer friends and family to you that cost you $0 to acquire. Okay, does that make sense? So you have to create compelling, irresistible offers right now. And then number 5 is this. And I talked a little bit about this before. And I'm going to give you a formula that goes like this: 5%, 15%, 80%. Somebody write this down: 5%, 15%, 80%. And what that represents is 100 people, right? 5%, 15%, 80%. Here's what you need to understand. 80% of the people are not going to buy your product or service no matter what. So out of 180 are just like, they're just there. They just happen to see what you have. They're floating around. 5% actually have an interest to buy what you have right now. So 5 out of 100 is what you're looking for. 15% you want to nurture into the 5%. So 80% are not interested at all. 15% might want or need what you have. 5% with the right message are the right ideal profile. So what you want to do is understand you're not going to sell 100% of the people. 80% are just there to tire kick. 15% may be interested, but you have to create compelling messages, point number 2, to get them into your orbit, to nurture them in order to be able to get them into the 5%. But if you're trying to sell everybody, and if you don't understand how to get people from 80 to 15, 15 to 5, or from 15 to 5 and leave alone the 80, you're wasting a lot of time, you're wasting a lot of money, and you're wasting a lot of energy. Now, young entrepreneurs, small business owners that have never been taught sales or marketing don't really know how to do this. And so let me give you the 5 tips one more time. I'm going to give you an invitation. I'm going to make a compelling, irresistible offer to you, if you like. 5 tips. Number 1 is target the right audience or people. Nail the message based on why people buy, so you trigger their reptilian and emotional brain. Number 3, create an end-to-end sales and marketing process. Number 4, create irresistible, compelling offers. Number 5, all right, understand how to target the 5% and the 15%, and don't worry about the 80%, right? That is part of this process. Now, for those of you who like the way I teach and what I have to offer, I've built 5 multi-million-dollar companies, millions and millions of leads, tens of millions in revenues just in this company that I have right now, billions in sales. I've taught over 5,000 business owners how to grow their companies. And if you like, on August the 6th, I'm doing a 5-day business breakthrough challenge. 5-day business breakthrough challenge, where each day for 5 days, I'm going to be teaching for over an hour one topic, how to apply it. I'll give you the forms, the documents, the process, and the system to do it, so that you can separate yourself from your competition. You can create the right target, the right message, the right process. I will teach you stuff that I teach my $25,000 to $100,000 a year clients. In 5 days, I will teach you many of the techniques and the fundamentals that you will able to apply right away in 5 days, so that you can earn more income in 5 days or less. Normally, I would charge hundreds of dollars for this. The challenge is $47. $47 to join the challenge. If you want to do it, my team will put a link on Facebook. My team will put a link in the chat on Instagram, and also in my bio. If you want to invest $47 in you and your business growth, I will give you so many incredible tools, techniques, and processes to do everything I've talked about before and then some. If you don't want to invest $47 for yourself, that's okay. I hope this has been of value to you. This is one of the things that I like to do, is give a lot of value and then invite people into learning with me. Normally, most of you know this, some of you are actual clients of mine. Clients invest $5,000 an hour to work with me. I am booked as many hours as I want, and but I also know there's a lot of people that cannot afford that. And so this is a way for me to teach you in a private setting. We'll be, training live videos with some Q&As. There's some VIP options as well. And so my team has put up a link in the chats. You got a chance to see what I give you for free. Imagine what I will give you when we are together for 5 days. And there's a whole bunch of bonuses that we'll be giving you as well. So if you like this, whether you join the challenge or you don't, that's okay with me. Would you mind sharing the link? Share the link. If you've enjoyed this, give me a like or a love on Instagram. Give me a little hello on Facebook. And that's what we got today. 5 tips for growing your business. The Business Breakthrough Challenge starts on August the 6th. And there you go. I hope you have a great day. Every Tuesday I'm live on Instagram now that I'm back from vacation, or I'm live on Facebook. All right. Have an awesome day. I appreciate you, and thank you for sharing this in advance. Peace. Appreciate you. Bye-bye now.